Hello everyone. So in today's episode, we have Meenakshi. So it's a special episode for me because Meenakshi is our first female technologist on the show. And welcome Meenakshi to
Thank you,
Sitecore
Arun.
Tech Talks. And so Meenakshi has been in the industry for around 8 years, and from last 5 or 6 years she is doing Sitecore. And I believe from last 6 months you're doing Sitecore Send
Yes.
and email marketing and all.
Yep.
So that's a bit about Meenakshi, and let's get started with the episode. So Meenakshi, first question: what is Sitecore Send? If you can please help us with that.
Yep. So Sitecore Send is basically SaaS-based platform which allows marketers to create, build, automate the email campaigns. Basically, it helps marketers to automate the marketing strategies and like Send has ability to perform the enterprise level of marketing automations. It help generally what happens is sometimes we need developers. So Sitecore Send is basically a product which will eliminate the help of developers and which will help marketers or make their life easy with the this Sitecore Send tool.
Right. So Sitecore Send, as you mentioned, is for marketers. But what all things can we achieve with Sitecore Send?
So in Sitecore Send you'll get a different number of things that will you help you in the marketing automations. Like first thing you'll get email campaigns. So user will be able to send the campaigns to the users. You'll get lending option in your tool, and you'll get the subscription forms, basically where you'll be able to get the data from the users. You can able to create the forms, and with that once you send forms to the users, they'll add up their data and you'll have data collected from the users.
All right. So from a usual perspective, if you can help us with what is email marketing on a general basis, as from a marketer's view, what generally can you talk about email
So in digital landscape, if you see, the email marketing campaign is the one of the most useful or the essential marketing thing which will
Right.
help you to engage with your customer, to grow your customer, or to get connected with your customers.
Right.
So basically, to make your brand awareness of your brand, to increase your sales, or to increase your product or your service visibility, or if you wanted to increase sales, targeted audience on your websites. So the one of the tool used would be the marketing campaign. So earlier it was like the mails were used as cold spam, but now marketing email campaign has shown its dominance in the digital experiences.
Right.
And like if you see the stats from the different things, it is almost like if you spend $42, like you'll earn $42 around $1 spent. So this is what the research has shown, that like you can imagine the use of email campaigns in the revenue and business growth.
So technically, it has a high impact zone, we can say so.
Yeah, correct.
Right. From like for any business, if they are doing
Absolutely.
email marketing,
Yes.
it's going to be high impact and high revenue as well, probably.
Yes,
Might
exactly.
help them gain revenue. Can you help us understand Sitecore Send more so from a feature standpoint with email marketing per se in the context?
Okay. So basically, if you start, like if you wanted to market your product or your services, the first thing you have to do is you have to select your audience, the targeted people, where you wanted to deliver a specified message. So for example, let's take an example of like if I take my hobby is traveling. So if I see like I have traveled through a particular company or through an agency, and agency have different things they are offering. Like they are offering the adventurous thing, they are offering the religious thing. So campaign, I'll explain like how it would
Sure,
be
yeah, that's a
useful. Yeah. So if I have traveled in an adventurous group, and now industry, the company wants to, company have added a different tour in their company profile. So they wanted to send or they want to promote this thing to the users. So what
Right.
they will do is they'll select the users, the targeted user which are interested in the adventurous thing. So they will select, send an email, or you can say email campaign, where if their targeted audience is fixed. Now the next step would be they need to create a campaign. So Sitecore Send is the tool where it will come in the picture, where the users will have feature, so they can create campaigns over there. They have n number of templates available, so they
Right.
can choose that particular template, and from that template, if they wanted to customize, like they wanted to take some features from one template, from other template, they can customize or create their own. Once their own template is created, and they can save it for next uses. So if they wanted to build it according to their brand or their agency, they can save it for the later purposes. Once it is sent, or once it is created, the next step would be sending, because sending it to the right people at right time or at right place, it is the one of the most important thing at this particular time.
Absolutely.
So once like they can schedule it when it wanted to, like there is specific time where if holidays are coming in upcoming weekends, at that time users would be planning for their trips or something like that. So they can reschedule it for that particular time period, and then they can send it to the users, and so that users can go to that particular websites and book their tours, and like is this way the Sitecore Send will help users to uh,
Right.
increase or grow their businesses.
So then when we talk of Sitecore Send and configuration of these email campaigns and sending it out, um, like can this be done by technical users, non-technical users? Who are the user roles which are generally involved here?
One of the best feature, if you see from the Sidecore Send, is you don't need developers or the technical users to create it. Because in terms of marketing, if you see, like from one of the famous quote, if you have heard from the APJ Abdul Kalam sir, it's the best way to predict future is to create it by yourself.
Yeah.
So the marketers don't have to go to the developer and ask them to create templates for them, or HTML or anything. It's like a visual tool will be available, and they have to just drag and drop the features. And it's not like you need a full-fledged training to get into the tool, because if you go to the tool and you explore, you'll be able to create campaigns or create things by yourself, because it's just drag and drop. By sometime trial and error, you'll be able to um, adjust with the tool. So
Right.
it is basically for the marketers, and they'll be able to create it by themselves.
Good to know. You mentioned you can use parts of multiple email templates already part of the system. But is there a flexibility of creating new email templates into the
Yes, of
system?
course, of course. Like there are two ways. Either you use the existing ones, or you create it scratch by yourself.
Right. And that also can be easily done by a non-technical user.
Yep, of course.
So this is a very good use case, where we talk about email campaigns. What are the other use cases that we can think of when we have Sitecore Send into picture?
Yeah. Okay. So one of this we discussed is the email campaign, where user will be sending campaigns. The other thing would be, suppose in your campaign you wanted to land users to a particular specific page where you have added all the promotional thing, because in one email, like, there are some cases you don't want it to end up writing all the content in the campaigns.
Correct.
So you can create a landing page. So for example, landing page also, like it will have drag and drop things. You can drag and drop the components, like 2 column or 3 column, or you wanted to add some pictures or the forms, anything you wanted to create, you can have this option. And here also you'll get option like whether you wanted to use the available templates or you wanted to build it from the scratch. So once your landing page is created, you can link it, or you can create a link that you can use in your campaigns.
Okay.
And that landing page you can append it to your existing websites. And to develop those components or anything, you don't need to be like any sort of technical help.
Right. Okay. When we look at email campaigns, I have a further question specific related to, let's say as a marketer I've created an email template, and I'm configuring my campaign,
Mhm.
but before my customers actually look at that email, I want to try run, I want to see that all the content is as required. I want to make sure that the brand guidelines that I have been followed correctly or not. So does Sitecore Send provide any facility to dry run or test these
Yep.
email campaigns?
Yes. So basically, once your campaign is created, your design and everything is ready. It's just you have schedule it for the some particular time. But before that, you wanted to test it. There would Sitecore Send provides you an option where you can have multiple email IDs to which you wanted to send, like you or your like other higher people you wanted to send that, or like basically it allows you two options whether you wanted to have single mail or multiple emails. So that particular campaign would be sent to those people, and you can test that whether it is correct or you want any corrections, or like any link is missing or anything you wanted to have dry run, you can do it.
Right. Okay. Right. And when I'm looking at these email campaigns, um, you know, there could be a possibility that it's maybe a one-time thing. I'm having an event, and hence I'm doing an email campaign that such an event is going to happen soon. Versus there could be situations where I want to regularly keep sending some email campaigns, or maybe on a on a specific event I want to send. Let's say I want to send an email wishing a person for their anniversary or their birthday. Now that is not something that I want to manually do every time, because in the system it is already there, right? So can Sitecore Send help me doing that?
Absolutely, it can help you that. So with email campaign, when you create it has dashboard where there is an option that whether you wanted to create a simple regular campaign, or you wanted to create it as an RSS or repeatable. So for repeatable, it would be like, you mentioned you wanted to send it for an anniversary, for birthday, or anything you wanted
Right.
to send. So in that case, you can use repeatable, where you can mention that for a particular days you wanted to repeat it, and for the regular one would be used for the one time. Or
Sure. So in the
so
repeated one, when I am like having that kind of set, and then I can have some other logic to fire that campaign.
yep. So there are two things that comes in picture. One is two scenarios actually. The first would be repeatable. Would be it would be repeated according to the time frame or days you have given. But there is option available, that is automation. That would come like you have set of rules, or you can add your rules to automate the thing. So for example, if someone have checked in to a e-commerce site, and he have added a product in the cart, and then he have ended the session and not shopped anything, so you can add a rule that I wanted to send an email for the abandoned cart users. So in that case, that particular automation will help you, that will send user a message that you have selected something in your cart but not purchased, and that way it would help you to grow your business and get you the lost inquiries or the lost businesses.
All right. So Meenakshi, when I'm looking at the users, right? You mentioned during your example of the travel agency that you can have email campaigns targeted to specific users. So, is there a way in which we can categorize users into maybe some buckets or something from a technical standpoint, which again a marketer can do inside course end, or does that need to be taken care externally?
Um, Sitecore Send will take care of that. The most important thing, like email campaign sending, all this is fine. But the first thing would be which are your audience, or who are your audience going to
Right.
be. So if you have data in Sitecore Send, that is well and good. Otherwise, like Sitecore Send have a section where you have like audience, where you wanted, if you have data manual. For example, if you have some hundred of user, you can do it imported. And there is another option, bulk import, where you will be able to have an option where you can import it via Excel or CVV file or simple Notepad plus web. It will give you an option like name, mobile number, email, and one of the most important field would be email, because we are sending it to the user. That would be
Absolutely.
the mandatory. Other fields you can keep it blank depending on how you are targeting the campaigns. If you are sending without name, then in that case you can avoid the name, otherwise name would be needed.
Right.
So once it is bulk imported, you will have see the list. Once list is created, you can segment it according to your needs. So for example, if you have a field where some of the users are interested in adventure and some of are interested in the religious travel, so you can bifurcate this particular list in two different way. Like one is for the adventurous one, and Sitecore Send will give you an option to differentiate between these two, and you can create two different or two separate lists according to your need.
Sure. This is good to know. Well, other than this landing page in email campaigns, is there any other use case
Of course,
available?
there is one more use case, that is subscription forms. If you have heard about the Sitecore forms, it is similar to that way. But in case of Sitecore forms, you need developers to create or develop this or change this. But in case of subscription forms, again, it is an drag and drop UI where you will be able to drag fields. You will have available fields. For example, in your campaign, if you wanted to collect some data from the users, for example, you wanted to collect mobile number of users, you have email address, but no mobile number, their hobbies or anything you wanted to collect from the users, you can use this particular subscription form. So in that you will be able to create like first field, single line text field, where you can define it any way. You can have options, you can put for placeholder, you can have your validations. And again, if you wanted to have different fields like only mobile numbers or the drop downs or the radio buttons, you will have options available there.
Input fields are interesting. I think one of the most important thing which I feel for any input field is data validations.
Correct.
So are there any data validations available if there is a facility of addition of fields?
Yeah, there are some validations available, like if you wanted to keep that particular field as mandatory required, if you wanted to have just numbers on that particular field, or if like you wanted to keep that field as read only, these like basic validations are available.
Okay. And of course, if there is any other development required, probably you will have to hire a partner
Integrate,
agency
yes.
or a consultancy to
Yeah.
develop it for you. But is there a possibility of having custom validations and stuff in the system?
Yes, you need to have like Sitecore Connect and all these things will come in picture if you wanted to have your custom integrations with the Sitecore Send.
Okay. All right. So email campaigns, then landing pages, and subscription forms. So just trying to remember things. Well, these are great features to have, but does Sitecore have any way to integrate with other Sitecore products? Sitecore Send, is it possible?
Yeah, it has. Sitecore Send have built integration with the Content Hub. So in your email campaigns, if you wanted to keep your brand consistency throughout, so one thing would be your images, your metadata and everything. So
Yes.
everything is stored in the Content Hub. So if you wanted to take images from Content Hub, it will have inbuilt option. If you are creating campaign, for sure you are going to use images. So images, you will have n number of options, like you can use it from Facebook, you can use it from Google Drive, Instagram, or from your local machine. And
Right.
there is one more option, that is Content Hub. So to use it with the Content Hub, for the first time you need to add your domain, your credentials, and once it is done, every time you will see the entire content in that particular tool, and you can use the images and everything from there.
Okay, good to know. So, Meenakshi, where does Sitecore Send sit in the composable world or the Sitecore composable DXP architecture per se?
So it helps you to engage with your customers. So it would sit under the engagement cloud.
Right. So when we look at the content cloud, we generally have you know um, XP or XM per se. Then
On the cloud.
Order Cloud on the commerce side of it.
Yeah.
Then on the engagement side, we have CDP, Personalize, and Sitecore.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, this is, I think, some good knowledge for all the ones who are starting off on Sitecore, or maybe also for those who know bits and pieces of it, but might prove to be a good conversation overall to help them get more knowledge onto it. So thank you, Meenakshi, for
you,
your
Gour.
time and helping us out with Sitecore.
Thank you for me having here.
So that was Meenakshi helping us out with email campaigns on Sitecore. Thanks Alok and Harsh for making this episode a reality.